What's up, everybody? Blessed be and welcome back. You're watching Witch in the Working, where we will be discussing all things witchy in and around, throughout and about, above, below, and beyond. So, everyone I'm sure by now has heard of this mysterious energy that all of the occultists speak about, this amazing essence that transcends time and space, raised, programmed, and sent out to affect its target in whatever shape, way, and form the witch or magician intended. On this episode of Witch in the Working, we're going to be talking all about this energy, what it is, how to create it, and of course, how to use it. So go grab some wine, tea, or coffee, settle back, and let's get grooving. Roll intro. Welcome back, everybody. As I mentioned, witches, wizards, magicians, and all of the other types of occultists listed throughout history into the present day have all long been associated with many things they have in common, from revealing the past, present, and future, to conjuring demons to assist in doing their biddings, and even translocating in many forms, whether it be astrally or physically transforming into an altered state of being and running, flying, or even swimming to their desired location. Some of these practices are definitely far-fetched, to say the least, and others not so much, and are quite attainable on a daily basis. I mean, divination is completely a reality and is done every day for thousands of people around the world. Many of us divine and don't even realize it, whether it be in our dreams or even through signs that we live through on a daily basis in our everyday lives. Whether a person realizes, examines, and acknowledges these signs is a completely different story, but that's one of the things that separates a witch from the common everyday person. It's learning to recognize and acknowledge these special signs that the spirits and sometimes gods throw at us. So another commonality that all of these occultists share is the concept and practice of creating energy, programming it, and sending it off to accomplish the desires of the practitioner. Being that I am in fact not a sorcerer or a magician, but am in fact a witch, we will be discussing the practice and theories of how a witch creates and utilizes this mysterious energy we talk about. What is energy? The first law of thermodynamics, also known as the law of conservation of energy, states that energy neither can be created nor destroyed. Energy can only be transferred or changed from one form to another. For example, turning on a light would seem to produce energy. However, it's electrical energy that is in fact converted. In physics, energy is the quantitative property that must be transferred to an object in order to perform work on or to heat the object. This energy that witches create is the same energy that turns on that light, or starts that car, or powers the batteries in a solar home. Energy is energy. It is what it is. However, how this energy is created is where the differences lie. There are many methods of creating energy, such as kinetic energy, potential energy, elastic energy, chemical energy, radiant energy, and thermal energy, to name a few. Energy is very important in order for most everything in our lives and world to exist. All living beings need to consume energy in order to survive. This is mostly done through eating food. If animals don't consume and eat food and drink water, they're not going to re-energize and will ultimately, they're going to die. We're made of energy coursing throughout our bodies with every heartbeat. Our brain, heart, and organs all rely on impulses on energy produced in our bodies and regulated by our brain by sending electrical signals to keep them going and operating properly. This is why electric shock can interfere with our regulatory system and send our hearts, for instance, into beating abnormally, like out of sync with our brain to heart roadway, causing arrhythmias. On a much larger scale, without our most intense and common source of energy, known from the beginning of our human existence and well before this, is the sun itself. Without the energy from the sun, our planet Earth will cease to exist as the living, breathing, magical wonderment that it is. Ultimately, if the sun was smaller or didn't put out the exact amount of energy it does in relation to the location of Earth itself in our solar system, the Earth would most likely be a lifeless rock circling in orbit, meaninglessly awaiting its time of consumption by the ever-expanding sun. A tidbit to chew on: if energy cannot be created or destroyed, and we are in fact very much made of energy, what happens to that energy when our physical body fails? List down in the comments below your theories on this act that happens to thousands of living beings every day. The energy has to go somewhere. Where? Let me know. Okay, enough about the boring stuff. What about witches and witchcraft and this mysterious energy that is part of our magic? First, let me show you what one of the most common visualizations that witches utilize when creating and tapping into this magical energy. Most, but not all witches will see this energy as a glowing blue light that pulses and is alive and active, very much kinetic in nature. It looks a lot like this. This energy can be molded and shaped to any form that the witch desires to accomplish hers or his magic and will. This energy is used both in ritual and in spell working alike. This procedure of concentration, visualization, creation, and utilization, dude, that's a lot of shins. Anyways, is in fact the basis of what we call magic and witchcraft. Like I mentioned a few moments ago, this magic is used in order to effectively practice ritual and spell workings alike. That's right, people. For the very, very few of you who claim to be Wiccan or witches and not practice magic, whether you realize it or not, you are in fact practicing magic whether you like it or not. Again, because this simple act of doing ritual inherently requires you to perform visualization, concentration, and utilization of this energy to, for instance, simply consecrate elements for your ritual or even cast a circle. So this being said, in ritual, we do work with this energy on a subtle level that is in fact very powerful in its own rights, no pun intended. But in spell work, we really raise the bar and push forth a lot more energy to accomplish our desires and wills. So, how do we do this as witches? How do we raise this energy? This energy that we as witches tap into is all around us and is constantly flowing in and around and about everything. You find this hard to believe? Think about this. The next time you turn on your radio or receive a phone call to someone using your cell phone, all invisible energy, people, in, around, throughout, and about our daily lives constantly, whether you like it or not. The universal energy that we as witches tap into has been around since the sun seeded its first rays upon this gorgeous rock we call Earth. This energy is very old and very, very powerful. Trying to record here. People are knocking at the door. It's one of those evenings. Trying to record in here. Whoa. Ryga, what's up, buddy? Oh, man. People, got a treat for you. My buddy Ryga has come all the way from another plane of existence to show us how this energy works and how powerful it can be. You're gonna show us this? Chicken, let's give it a shot. Here we go. Ryga is going to demonstrate using this radiometer how this heat energy being produced by this candle spins the vane within the enclosed casing of the radiometer. So this device begins to spin faster, as you can see, because of the intense energy coming from the heat of the flame. Here Ryga has a small homemade type of radiometer using just a needle and a small foil propeller. By clapping his hands together and rubbing them back and forth briskly, like Mr. Miyagi in The Karate Kid, he is in fact stimulating and generating bursts of kinetic energy that will emanate from his hands, a lot like when you rub your feet on a carpet and generate electricity. As you can see, he has in fact generated enough energy through this simple act to spin the foil propeller on the needle. So, as you can see, by simply rubbing your hands together, the energy that is created in doing so, very real energy transferred by you to do a specific goal. Not so hard to believe now, is it, for you skeptics out there? So what we need to do as magical persons is to raise this energy, program the energy, and then send it out to do its work. There are many ways and techniques to raise energy as a witch. One of the most simple techniques for raising energy is to move. That's right, very easy, just move. Dance, jump, walk, jog, run, move your arms and legs, get your body in motion. Whether you're a solitaire or working with a coven, this can be done either way very easily. In a coven scenario, I've even seen where the coveners just held hands and would swing their arms and stomp their feet in order to get the energy moving and flowing heavily throughout the circle. It's a very simple concept and is very real, hence you know the energy is being successfully created because you start to generate heat, which is energy, and even begin to sweat, get out of breath, and intensify your adrenaline as the energy you create seeps out of every pore, circulating in a whirlwind of passions and desires. When directing this movement to create the energy, most witches will circumambulate in a clockwise direction known as diesel. The word diesel or jessel translates to sunwise. This is known to generate positive flowing energy throughout your circle containment area. Most witches will start off slow a lot of times in a group setting, even holding hands as they begin their circumambulations. Those most fortunate covens will have a person's beating out a rhythm on a djembe or other drum to direct the speed and intensity of the energy raising process. This can just as easily be done alone too, for you solitaires out there. Maybe put on some music that really gets you going, but I do recommend that you work with music that does not have words, as this can interfere with your concentration and visualization processes that are so very important in working magic. For those of you who choose to work with a group of people, don't hold hands the entirety of the energy raising. At a certain midpoint, let go and go into your own movements, ultimately working yourself into a sort of small frenzy. At this point, it can be very helpful to also create a small chant that has to do with accomplishing your working at hand. Try and make this chant rhyme if you can. There's a reason our witchy ancestors of yesteryear did this, and that is because you don't have to think or concentrate on what words come next. This leaves you capable for visualizing your outcome and purpose for the magic. Which brings us to the next step of building our magic energy for spell working. This next step is programming the energy. This is in fact telling the energy, and sometimes even showing the energy, what you want it to do. Again, with that rhyming chant, you'll be dancing diesel around and round, starting off slowly and gradually building to a frenzy. Let this building of energy take some time, not too much though, maybe like 2 minutes, starting off slow and gradually building it up. While you're dancing or running or jumping, whatever you decide to do, you should be visualizing the intent of your magic, the goal of your spell working. Many witches do this in many different ways as far as the visualizations go. In my specific Wiccan practice, Gardnerian, we're taught to visualize the end result. For instance, if you're working magic to heal a family member or friend, don't visualize your patient sick in bed trying to get better. Visualize your patient walking healthy on a nearby beach or in the woods, or maybe out doing whatever he or she really enjoys, most importantly happy, healthy, and vibrant. Visualize the end result, showing the magic where and how you want the person to end up in the end. The magic knows now what the result you want is. It will do the rest of the work to get that person to that programmed healthy state you just showed it. Once you've expended your energy and really put everything you can into it, the next step in this process is to release this energy. This is in fact done through a climax of emotion centered at the very end of your energy raising process. Many witches will end their working by collapsing to the ground and yelling with force at the end of their chant as they collapse, or stop dancing with the words "so mote it be" or "so be it." A sort of finalization powered forth with extreme emotion and passion and force. At this point, you direct the energy or release the energy out into the universe to do its bidding and accomplish your goals you programmed it or instructed it to do. This releasing is done by using your hands to direct the energy towards its goal. Visualization is the key here in this process. Again, you'll want to visualize that energy leaving your body in circle as that witchy blue energy and going to the target. If you happen to be using an object such as a candle, poppet, or sachet, you will in turn direct some of the energy into that item instead of directing all of the energy out into the universe. So if you're doing candle magic, for instance, you will do all of the energy raising practice I discussed, and at your climax, direct the energy into your candle. The energy that the candle's capable of holding will be consumed by the candle, and the excess will go out into the universe to its target. When you light that candle now going forward, it will release more of this energy that you directed it to store. It releases this magic in the form of heat energy to roll out into the universe, backing up that which already was sent previously. You don't have to dance, run, jog, or walk to raise energy. Some other ways are to sit and rock back and forth while chanting. Flex your muscles in your arms, legs, stomach, back like a full body flex in order to generate that energy. This can actually be more strenuous than just dancing. It's up to you, whichever system you prefer. The bottom line is to use your body to generate kinetic heat energy that you program and release. This energy you're generating is being drawn in, transformed, and utilized from this universal ancient energy I spoke about earlier. So again, you're not actually creating energy, you're simply gathering and transforming a witchcraft energy to work your magic, just like our pagan and witchy ancestors for centuries before you. This brings me to a brief description of why it is important to cast a circle before you do witchcraft magic. A circle serves three purposes in witchcraft specifically. One is for protection, the second is to create a world and space between the worlds of the mundane and the spiritual. It is said that when you're within a magic circle, you're in fact between the worlds, not in the physical mundane world or the next. Here, it's easy to communicate with spirits and the divine, and to work with energies that are less commonly found and easily worked with within the mundane. These first two, protection and world between the worlds, are found very common amongst other practices such as ceremonial magic, for instance. The third reason is pretty much specific to witchcraft practice, and this is that the circle is built to contain the magic raised within it until thy command to unleash the power within. This means that the witch's circle acts as a container to hold the magic being raised so it can be programmed and instructed on what to do and built up until the climax of the release. In witchcraft, this is called the cone of power, as that is the shape that the energy takes while being built, just like a witch's pointy hat. Once the climax is reached and the energy released, the magic shoots out from the end of the cone to do its intended bidding. So after you've released this energy, there's always going to be a little bit left over that is residual that needs to be expended or released from yourself, or you can end up with a nasty little headache, or sometimes basically just feel drained or a little out of sorts or flighty. This technique is called grounding, or grounding the energy. Very simply, after you've performed your magic and you feel confident it's on its way, kneel down and place the palms of your hands on the ground and visualize the excess bit of energy being sucked away back into the earth from whence it came. Another grounding method is to clap your hands a few times briskly and loudly to dissipate the extra charge. Some will even dip their fingers in the consecrated witch's water after clapping their hands as an added cleansing and purifying of the energy. So, that pretty much wraps up the process of raising, programming, and releasing magical energy from a witch's perspective. As you work with this energy throughout your witchcraft career, you will begin to be able to sense it more readily as you become more familiar with it. Don't be surprised in days to come if you're able to sense and connect with stray energy from others. Have you ever been standing in a grocery store or somewhere where you come in close proximity with others and someone walks behind you and all of a sudden you feel a chill down your spine that makes you tense up and sometimes step out of the way or shiver? That just happened because you sensed that person's energy field and it didn't quite get along with your own. Your energy was saying, dude, move. I don't like that other energy that's nearby. If you like this video, give me a thumbs up. If you don't, give it a thumbs down. As usual, if anyone has any comments, questions, or answers below, comment below, please. Hit that subscribe button and ring that bell. And until next time, all my wonderful witchy friends and companions, blessed be. See you later.